he's addicted to mashed potatoes.
What are you doing to get help?
I don't. I just eat them myself. I just scoop it up.
No,
Right
not how are you going to stop?
I don't feel like I need to stop. I don't know. I do have a problem.
I'm hitting you in the chest.
I have a problem.
That's right, you do.
I just wish someone
Next
would tell
time.
me what to do. Would
Okay.
someone please tell me how to get out of this
My Strange
pit of mashed
Addiction
potatoes?
doesn't have a host with a microphone. I mean, I don't know why I decided to do that. It's like John Walsh.
Dude, man, that was a freaking near burn experience. The burn, it was like afterburn. It was like, and then it happened twice.
It was like
and
a
then it was like,
It was like a rocket,
and
man.
Listen,
And I said-
I don't want to glorify this. If the thing would have tilted, if the bottle would have tilted, it would have burned you guys behind the camera.
Yeah.
Or if it would have tilted the other way, it would have burned the talent,
Yeah, the talent right
which
here.
is pretty important. But it stayed straight and it spewed lava up, and which rained down on the tent. There was right behind the cameras. They had a tent, which they were operating the cameras underneath the tent because you guys got to sit in the shade. How nice! But the lava rained down on the tent, man. It was like asteroids.
Well, and that's what caused the chair to catch on fire. I mean, it really was stupid. So, when I think Chase did some experiments with that before, and I think he used a significantly smaller amount of, because he just got it to smoke. He's like, I saw some sparks.
And he's not here.
Well,
He's not here today, and he told Kevin.
We saw
Kevin
the
was like,
gates of hell.
Kevin was
The gates
like,
of hell, man.
You pour about this much of this, and then this much of this is what Chase said, and then he said, or you can do more. If you want. Yeah, you said that, right? You said you can do more if
Well,
you
because
want.
from your experience, it was just smoke.
Smoke.
Yeah. Well, we did one and it was just smoke, so we added a little more, and it was a little bit of a spark. And that's where I showed you guys this level. So I figured.
So there were no
a
like,
little bit more,
there were no
it would've been-
detonations, like
there
a
isn't.
gun
Like
firing.
that was an explosion
multiple times.
The first explosion was, and then it was, and then it was, and I was saying, and I wasn't joking. I was like, I've been told I should stand back. And during the first shotgun blast, our heads are like 2 feet from the thing.
It reminds me of our experience.
It was stupid.
Camping in high school. We would go to a place called Cow Poop Island. We called it something else, but that's what I'll call it here.
That's what we'll call it here.
And it was an island off of the Cape Fear River, where across the river from where you lived, and the cows would come across the creek onto what we called an island, and they would like poop all around where we would camp.
Yeah.
And that's not pertinent to the story, except that's why we called it what we called it. And I remember one time we would make the hugest, biggest, blazingest fires. And let's see, Trent was there because he brought his brand new tent. And Brandon was there because he brought the beans. Mm-hmm. And Brandon had the great idea. You know, you get kind of bored out there just staring at a fire, and you're like,
man.
at a certain point, you don't want to eat anything anymore. So then you start throwing stuff in the fire, and he's like, "I'm gonna throw these beans in the fire. This unopened can of beans in the fire." And so we throw it in the fire.
An old school can of beans that didn't have the pop top. It was you needed a can opener. I think.
Yeah. And
Bad idea.
I remember it sounded like a shotgun blast when that thing exploded. And beans went everywhere.
And not
everywhere.
just beans.
Hot beans.
But the coals is so when it exploded, it blew up the wood around it and the coals, and it blew the coals out everywhere. And of course, just like our chair went up in flames, it hit Trent's new tent.
It went all over the tent. It was like a meteor shower, and it just put like all these little holes. It just burned. It would hit and burn through. And his sleeping bag.
That led to a fight.
And Trent just started. He was like, "What? How can you be so stupid?" And then he just confronted Brandon. And I remember there was a tussle in the dirt.
I thought we were gonna see a fight on the island.
Right.
It was like Lost Boys out there. Or what's the name of that?
And then in college, we went camping with.
What's the one about the kids on the island? Lord of the Flies.
Lord of the Rings. And then his
Lord of the Rings.
Our roommates, Tim and Greg, we went camping with them. I know Tim was there.
I know Greg was there as well.
And so we threw
Same thing happened.
We threw beans in the fire, and it like went all over embers went all over Tim's sleeping bag, and he got very angry too.
Yeah, that's typically is what happens when you put beans in the fire. So don't put beans in the fire.
And don't mix chemicals, period.
Don't mix,
unless you're a chemistry professor on the job.
You know, there's probably there's probably a chemistry class that is going to watch the video that we made today as like an example of how not to behave in a chemistry lab.
We were wearing goggles though.
Yeah, we had goggles.
Would have burned right through the goggles.
And gloves.
We had on surgeon masks,
but we needed
and
like
scientist
a
goggles,
heat shield, and we needed to be about 40 feet from that thing.
And a few more IQ points before this thing ever started to decide not to do it.
So don't try it at home, kids.